So happy Memorial Day for those of you who are watching, who have served. Thank you. I am so grateful for your service and just all that you have given up, all that you've witnessed, all that you've lost to participate in making this country free. We are so grateful for you. And remember your sacrifice. I was thinking about remembrance today and just really sitting with call to remembrance. And most often when we think of remembrance, a lot of times there's a lot of pain associated with it. And, we have this choice. We have this choice over the way that we view the world. Are we going to view it as through kind of a negative perspective or through a positive one? And if we were to remember today with gratitude and remember today with, man, just already kind of swelling with a real gratefulness for the way people have given to us and for us, rather than from this place of, a lot of people have different opinions on the way that we interact in war and battle. And, if we were to just take a moment to remember with gratefulness, so many, and this lends to every area of our life, whether it's talking about business or whether it's talking about our past with our parents or family or upbringing. So many people are doing the best that they can, and they make the decisions according to the best they know how. And so as we look back, and this is the day of remembrance here in the US for those who have given their life, but even regardless of what country you're from that's represented today, there are so many who have given their lives for your country and my country. And so if we are willing to honestly look at this day of remembrance through a lens of gratitude, I think that we're just going to be overwhelmed by the amount of sacrifice and overwhelmed by the amount of things and people that we can be grateful for, regardless of our personal opinion about it. This is the thing when it comes to looking at the world. We can look at it from one of two perspectives. And I'm excited. Actually, this lends a little bit to today's topic, and even this question of what is our reality. We get to choose the lens through which we view the world. And even just today in remembrance, how are we going to remember? Because we have a choice over how we do so. With that, I'm going to review just a couple lessons leading up to today's, and then we'll dive into today's lessons. We are, just for those of you who are new to the Knowing Show, we discuss the cultivation of the human intelligence, intellectual intelligence, artificial, no, not artificial. We actually do sometimes. Part of the reason why the human intelligence and the cultivation of that is so important is because we live in an obsessed artificial intelligent world. But the human intelligence is the intellectual, emotional, spiritual, and physical intelligence. And so cultivating that alongside the artificial, and where do we really retain that which makes us human rather than kind of outsourcing that. So with that, we are reading a daily Course in Miracles, and we're going to dive into today's review. We're in the middle of a review section right now. Lesson 121, forgiveness is the key to happiness. Lesson 122, forgiveness offers everything I want. Lesson 123, I thank my Father for his gifts to me. Lesson 124, let me remember I am one with God. Lesson 125, in quiet, I receive God's word today. Lesson 126, all that I give is given to myself. Lesson 127, there is no love but God's. Lesson 128, the world I see holds nothing I want. Lesson 129, beyond this world, there is a world I want. Lesson 130, it is impossible to see two worlds. And the lesson that we're going to be leaning into today is lesson 129, beyond this world, there is a world I want. This is the thought that follows the one we practiced yesterday. You cannot stop with the idea the world is worthless, for unless you see that there is something else to hope for, you will only be depressed. Our emphasis is not on giving up the world, but on exchanging it for what is more satisfying, filled with joy, and capable of offering you peace. Think you this world can offer that to you? It might be one time to think once more about the value of this world. Perhaps you will concede here that there is no loss in letting go all thought of value here. The world you see is merciless indeed, unstable, cruel, unconcerned with you, quick to avenge, and pitiless with hate. It gives but to rescind, and it takes all away all things that you have cherished for a while. No lasting love is found, for none is here. This is the world of time, where all things end. It is a loss to find a world instead where losing is impossible. Or is it a loss to find a world instead where losing is impossible, where love endures forever, hate cannot exist, and vengeance has no meaning? Is it lost to find all things you really want and know that they have no ending and they will remain exactly as you want them throughout time? Yet even they will be exchanged at last for what we cannot speak of. For you go from there to where words fail entirely, into a silence where the language is unspoken and yet surely understood. Communication, unambiguous, plain as day, remains unlimited for all eternity. And God Himself speaks to His Son, as His Son speaks to Him. Their language has no words, for what they say cannot be symbolized. Their knowledge is direct and wholly shared and wholly one. How far away from this are you who stay bound to this world? And yet, how near are you when you exchange it for the world you want? Now is the last step certain. Now you stand an instant space away from timelessness. Here you can but look forward, never back to see again the world you do not want. Here is the world that comes to take its place. As you unbind your mind from little things the world sets forth to keep you prisoner. Value them not, and they will disappear. Esteem them, and they will seem real to you. Such is the choice. What loss can be for you in choosing not to value nothingness? This world holds nothing that you really want, but what you choose instead, you want indeed. Let it be given to you today. It waits but for your choosing, to take the place of all the things you seek but do not want. Practice your willingness to make this change 10 minutes in the morning and at night, and once more in between. Begin with this. Beyond this world, there is a world I want. I choose to see that world instead for this, for here is nothing that I really want. Then close your eyes upon the world you see, and in the silent darkness, watch the lights that are not of this world light one by one, until where one begins, another end loses all meaning as they blend into one. Today, the light of heaven bends to you to shine upon your eyelids as you rest beyond the world of darkness. Here is the light of your eyes cannot behold, and yet your mind can see it plainly and can understand. A day of grace is given you today, and we give thanks. This day we realize that what you feared to lose was only loss. Now do we understand there is no loss, for we have made its opposite at last, and we are grateful for the choice we made. Remember your decision hourly and take a moment to confirm your choice by laying by whatever thoughts you have and dwelling briefly upon this. The world I see holds nothing I want. Beyond this world, there is a world I want. Y'all, I actually, I want to read something that I actually wrote for someone very special to me the other day. I was doing a deep dive. I got a message the other day on WhatsApp just with somebody very, very anxious about something. And I did a little bit of a deep dive. And so just for those of you who are joining, we're talking about we have a choice of our perspective of the way that we view the world. We've actually talked about this a number of times, but even today, as it's Memorial Day, we're so grateful for those who have given of their life, for those who have sacrificed, for those who have experienced devastation on our behalf. And this is a great opportunity to make a choice, regardless of whether you agree with what's being done on a political landscape. We still can hold gratitude. That's a duality of and. That's the power of this conjunction is allowing for two seemingly opposing truths. I can be grateful, so incredibly grateful for people who have given their life for my freedom. And I can maybe not agree with what's going on. Or maybe I agree and I'm grateful. But we're waiting to be grateful for those who have given their life until we agree with everything our government is doing. And this is across every country across every level of analysis, we can still be grateful for the citizens and still be grateful for people who are, it's the same way when we look back at our past. Our parents really, for the most part, did their best. So, and they could have done some real damage. And maybe we had a beautiful childhood, and maybe there were some real things that we needed to work through and heal from. And they did their best, and they were freaking 25 years old. So there's all these nuances that if we know how to hold two seemingly opposing truths, that truly is a mark of emotional maturity. To allow for two conflicting emotions to coexist, two conflicting, we're talking about reality today, two seemingly conflicting realities to coexist into the same universe, rather than being dogmatic and choosing one or the other. And so as it pertains to this conversation today, we're talking a little bit about, okay, holding gratitude and allowing for gratitude. Are we going to choose that perspective because we get the power to choose? And then as we're talking today in the lesson about which world are we going to place our value and our meaning and our identity in? Is it going to be a world bound by time, or is it going to be that which is eternal, that has everlasting value? And that is effectively seeing the world through God's eyes. And just quickly, I love how she said here is the world that comes to take its place. As you unbind your mind from little things this world, this physical world, sets forth to keep you prisoner. Value them not, and they disappear. Esteem them, and they will seem to you. So where we place our attention, what we fixate on, what we think about, is ultimately where we pour our energy. It's like, where's our life force going? And our life force across each one of these intelligences, intellectually, emotionally, physically, spiritually, each one of these categories has energy that we can give to whatever we're placing our attention on. So if we are getting caught up in things of this physical world, bound and limited by time, and we're getting anxious about them or worried and caught up in them, that's going to be reflected in where our energy is. And so I just want to go to something I sent to this friend of mine a couple days ago. They sent me a message, and they effectively said that they believed that their daughter was sick because of them, because that they didn't love them freely or give to them like they should have. And so now their daughter is sick. And months before, they had sent a message saying that their husband was sick because of them. So they're attributing the health and well-being of their entire family to whether they've been praying enough or loving them enough. That's a lot of pressure for any one person to hold. And so to that point, I sent this message. I sent a breakdown. There's a verse in the biblical text that says, "Cast your cares upon the Lord." And so I leaned into the word like cares. Like, what does that actually mean? And I want to actually read that with you today, because here's the thing. The thing that can stumble us and catch us up in this physical world so often is a worry or anxiety or fear. And so what this word care is in the Greek is merimna. And it's the origin is kind of the concept of split, being divided. And so it's cast your merimna upon God because He cares for you. And so it's this concept of like our whole self and our whole being, worrying about things in this physical world, we actually end up kind of getting split. And that's a part of us is going in a direction, dividing our whole self. So now it's not just you sitting there being able to engage in life fully because you're seeing through the perspective of God. All of a sudden, the lens have shifted, and you're viewing the world from kind of a human to human perspective. And it's like that part that's anxious gets fragmented from our whole self else, and then that parts of us gets fragmented from our whole self. And so now we're like broken up into tiny dozens of little fragmented pieces that are worried and anxious about all these different cares in this physical world. And so when we think about this physical world, what does it have to offer? Kind of getting anxious or getting worried about tomorrow, what's going to happen, what are going to do, how can I make them well? versus changing the lens and the dial through which we see the world and having it be one of God's, the way that He sees, the way that He is able to love people and carry them, but not from a place of fear or anxiety that actually brings separation, but rather that is the whole self integrated. So it's really interesting, when you think about, am I loving people and looking at this world from a place of love, or am I trying to love people and carry them through the lens of this physical world? It's only going to be caused by our kind of that powering source is fear. So we can look at it through the perspective of God, which is the lens of love, or the lens of this physical world, which is the lens of fear. Just jumping over here into the chat. DJ says glitch galore. Am I back, y'all? I know that I just saw that there was a weak signal. But anyways, happy Memorial Day, DJ. I was thinking about you this morning. Thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for Jane, I'm so glad to see you. Oh, I'm sad we missed you this morning, but I'm so glad to see your name. Joseph Cliff, good morning from London. Hello. Goose Hunter, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Oh no, Steve said that the audio is garbled. Has it been bad this whole time? Oops. Oh, bummer. Oh well. I just saw that my audio's been pretty bad this whole time. Well, I'll go ahead and take that as a sign then that I'll wrap this up. Y'all, thank you so much for joining today. This lesson was at least encouraging for me. I'm sorry that you couldn't hear it. I'll go ahead and drop a link if you can. I'll go ahead and drop a link here in the chat so that if you'd like to chat. And then I will, it is glitching for me. Here we go. All right, y'all. There's the lesson for today. I will be back tomorrow morning for our normal time of 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern for our normal program. And I will restart my computer right after we jump off because I have not restarted it in a couple of days. And I think that's why it's unhappy. Yeah, guys, thank you. Happy Memorial Day. Thank you for each one of you who have served. Thank you for those of you who have laid down your life and served well, and for all that you've suffered. We are grateful and better because of you. So thank you. Have a wonderful Memorial Day. Enjoy your family. Enjoy time with yourself if it's just you. And remember, we get to make today what it is. We get to choose how we view the world. Have a good day.